Hey everyone, today I will be taking you along in my drawing process of drawing the new Valorant agent Gekko in the Valorant Artstyle. So I'm starting off with my sketch here. Normally I mostly draw women, so I was already having such a hard time with just that. My sketch starts off kind of wonky, but I end up fixing it in the end, I promise. I saw this picture on Pinterest of a man having like a cat on his shoulder, and I thought like that would be very cool with Gekko and having like one of his buddies on his shoulder. So yeah, that's what I was going for. At first I only wanted to add the blue one on his shoulder, but I ended up deciding to add two others, which I think was a good choice because I think that made the drawing like more interesting, and it just wouldn't feel right with the other two creatures not being in there. So when I was done with the sketch, I started coloring in. I will be color picking from the official Valorant artwork just because I want to make sure I'm using the right colors. Eventually, I will still go over it with like a hue saturation thing and make it more bright, which I also recommend doing because somehow it always ends up a bit more grayish. And I'm coloring in all under the sketch layer. When I'm done with that, I will recolor my sketch with a darker color of the color underneath. At this point, you don't have to worry yet about it looking like the Valorant art style. This part is just about getting the right colors and fixing stuff. So I'm starting with rendering the picture right now. I will kind of combine my own way of painting with the Valorant art style, and I'm using a square brush for that. This brush has a lower opacity and I blend a little bit with it. Valorant has obviously a lot of sharp edges and sharp shapes, but I noticed that some of the pictures have a little bit of soft shading in them, like a soft, rough shading. Later, we will still go over it with like a harder brush to make it a bit more sharp. I've just found that this works the best and looks the best instead of just going in straight with the sharp brush. So the way I blend is by laying down a light or darker shade for shading and then color picking in the middle and just keep brushing, color picking, brushing, color picking, brushing until you eventually have like a fade in the middle. You can either do this with like a square brush, the one that I'm using, or you can do it with a soft brush and you'll see that you have different outcomes with it. So just try different things, see which brushes you like. So yeah, I was really struggling with his face. I tried flipping my canvas a few times and trying to fix the mistakes, but the more I worked on it, the worse it got, kind of. I think I spent like 2 hours alone on his face, while normally the whole drawing is done in 2 hours. So this was really frustrating. So I was kind of feeling very defeated at this point, and I almost wanted to quit and not make this video and not make the drawing, but I just took a little break and I continued on and I just took a different approach. I decided to sketch over a screenshot of the animation that Riot released. He coincidentally he had like his face in the right area, the right angle. That's the word I'm looking for. He had his face in the right angle. I just sketched over it. So that's the red lines that you see. I just followed the shape of his face. I just did the eyes, the basic shape of the nose and where the mouth is. And I also did the very noticeable shading areas. I also drew a line so I knew where that was. And then I put it over my drawing and then I could see where my mistakes were. But it wasn't that bad, I think. So that made me even more confused because I was like, it's kind of okay. Why is mine so crooked? I don't know. It just didn't look like him. So yeah, I just followed those lines that I traced, but I still ended up changing it a little bit because I found when I traced the lines, his face was very white, which I didn't think was like accurate. So I don't know why that was, but I still changed it a bit back. Even though you trace it, it's not like a free pass to like a masterpiece, not at all. So you still have to kind of look at your drawing with a criticizing eye. Sometimes stuff looks better in the photo than it does when you trace it in the drawing. It just looks off. There's just, I don't know why, it's just the way it is. So you still have to change stuff. So when I was finally happy with his face, I could finally move on to the rest of the drawing. There's not really that much that I can say about that besides the stuff that I've already said. I'm still going in with the square brush and blending a little bit. I'm just basically doing everything with the square brush first, and then I go over it again to make it sharper with either still a square brush, but then I just press a bit harder and go over it a few times so the opacity gets higher, or I just take a hard round brush. Just depends. It's still still looks a bit different. I just kind of mix them. I'm also taking a close look at his reference pictures to see if I'm doing everything right. And to be honest, it was kind of hard because nothing was consistent with the official artwork. I had 3 different official artworks on my canvas. They all don't look the same. I don't know why they do this. I've noticed this before with the other agents, but this one seemed even more than usual. The way he looks in the animation just doesn't look like the official Valorant in-game artwork. His face doesn't look the same at all, and his clothing is just different. There's way more colors in his clothing and his sweater in the animation than there is in the official artwork. I decided to add those colors from the animation in my drawing because I thought it looked way cuter, way more interesting. I just really liked it, so I mostly looked at the animation picture. So if you're struggling drawing in Valorant art style or any art style, then I suggest you trace the official artwork and also trace over the lighting and the important shading. Then move your sketch to the side and start coloring it in. It's kind of like a more difficult version of coloring the colors kind of thing, you know? I learned this at school. We did it with the GTA 5 artwork. This makes you focus more on rendering and like the shading and other stuff, like the way it's actually drawn instead of, you know, being worried about the proportions and stuff like that. You can just focus on, okay, so here's the shading. Why is he doing that? Figure that stuff out. This really helps. Just makes you understand more what's happening. Besides that, don't give up. Even though I almost gave up in this video, don't give up. My first video on this channel was also about how to draw in the Valorant art style, and since then I think I've learned a lot because I kept drawing in that style because I really liked it. And yeah, I was just having a lot of fun. Once again, there was no consistency in the artwork of his little creature, so I had no clue what to do. I just did what felt right and looked right. I mostly used the animation for the blue creature, and then I used a different picture for the other 2, or I just combined them all. Like one picture had a nice looking shell on the blue one, and then his body was better looking on the other picture or more clear. So I just kind of combined them all and it turned into this. So, you know, I'm really excited to learn more about this character in the future and to see more cinematics and stuff like that. And I really cannot wait to play him. I'm a big Killjoy fan, but I think Gekko will be like a good second because I really like the way he looks. I like his abilities too, of course. But yeah, come on, he has green hair. How could you not think that's super cool? I cannot wait to play him. So yeah, anyways, we're done. If you like this video, then please like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing. And check out my other videos, especially if you like Valorant. I kind of have a lot of Valorant artwork videos on here right now. You can also check out my other social media. I'll link them down below. If you perhaps like gaming too, which I assume you do because yeah, it's Valorant, you could check out my gaming YouTube and check me out when I'm streaming. Also link down below.
Come here. Go back. What? Stay.
Okay. Hey.
Hello.
Is that Boba?
It's Boba.
It doesn't look like anyone one of you. It's just a bearded. It was just a bearded little thing.
What's going on here?
Look at the baby! Why does it have a beard? It's a baby!
Bye.
Wait, give the baby back!
No.
If you have suggestions about what I should draw next, or you want some advice or whatever, you can leave a comment or you can contact me on Discord, also link down below. Have fun drawing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!